Hi, it's Victoria again on day 3. So today we're talking about the difference between masculine and feminine. Now obviously we're not talking about the difference between men and women. We know what the difference is physically. What's really interesting is that both men and women create both masculine and feminine hormones. And every one of us is both masculine and feminine. The real key of learning how to create that real sense of worth and value in our life and ask for what it is we intrinsically know we're worth is learning how to balance our masculine and feminine and use them to their greatest potential. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that, as you know, we've been living in a masculine-based, fear-based reality. And this isn't about blaming men. Please don't think I'm going there. I love my husband, I love men. There are some amazing men in this world who are here to support us and really want to lift us up. So this isn't about male bashing, so don't think that that's where this is going. It's simply understanding that where we have been has been a masculine-based reality, and we all know that. So what happened for thousands of years is that a misperception was created that women are worth less than men. And I'm not going to get into where that came from and why it's still pervasive in some places. That's a whole another talk and another seminar I'll probably do down the road. For right now, we're just talking about the difference between masculine and feminine energies and how you can use them. If you think about the yin and the yang, how they're in perfect balance, that's really what we're looking for. Because once we can find that balance in ourselves, we can take that out into the world and create balance in the world. So here's one thing to consider. All of the rules about money were created for men in a man's world, and they simply don't apply to women. And they were created in a fear-based world where there was a misconception about what love is and about what fear is. And I'll let that sit with you for a while. The other thing that happened is that women's gifts were seen as worth less than men. And so a lot of women didn't make money with their gifts. And what's really fascinating is that there are still a lot of women today who are afraid to ask for money because they're afraid to receive in exchange for their gifts. So I think it's really important for you to understand that you wouldn't have your gifts and your talents and your propensities if you weren't also created to receive in reciprocation for them. Your talents, your gifts, and your abilities are worth just as much as anyone else, simply because they are. And you deserve to be reciprocated for your services, your talents, and your gifts just as much as anyone else. The key to learning how to balance your masculine and your feminine is to really take ownership of both of these energies and use them at the time that it is called for and balance them within ourselves. So we can call on our masculine aspects when we need them and call on our feminine aspects when we need them. So our feminine aspects are things like creativity, collaboration, and communication. So things we all do really well, and we need to really take ownership of them. Our masculine aspects are things like focus, planning, and taking action. When we learn how to balance those two energies, we have that confidence and the creativity and the connections that we need to really go out there and ask for what we deserve and what we are really worth. And as we start to create this balance within ourselves, we can then feed that out into the world. Those are my 3 steps for helping you really gain the clarity and confidence to earn what you're really worth. In conclusion, earning what you are really worth begins with understanding that everything in your world is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. Once you create a loving relationship with yourself, you can feed that sense of worth and love out into the greater consciousness. Because what happens is that as we change our own consciousness, that goes out into the greater consciousness and it becomes the new pervasive belief on the planet. This is why it's so important for us as women to have money. Because as we have money, we change that collective consciousness to one that is loving, one that is more generous, one that is based in healing, and one that is based in love, rather than the fear that has been. It is really important that you learn to embrace who you really are and why you're really here. And when you have money, you can make the difference in the world that I know and that you know you were born to make. If you love what you've learned over the last 3 days, please share this forward with friends or with anyone else that you think might be able to use this information and help them get where they want to go. Until next time, mwah.